Welcome back to my channel. We're going to do a quick install today. Today we have my 3-inch Acrobrat. They're pretty small, it's 3-inch. You want to minimize the weight on there. So if you put a lot of LEDs on here, it gets a little bit heavy and the flight times get a little bit shorter. Right? So the best thing to do is, right now I'm going to be installing the TrueRC 5.8 gigahertz Blaze antenna. It's a TrueRC that lights up at the end and it doesn't add too much weight. Before we begin, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you can get the latest videos from my channel. Let's jump to the install. So here we have the antenna. It's a TrueRC from Canada. It's an RHCP SMA connector for my analog camera. So let's open up and see what's in here. The antenna. It's got their has a wire for the connection. So how this works is this connects onto the SMA part of the quad, and then this is the 5 volt power on the FC. Now what you need to do though is you just have to connect this to a resistor. So this has to go through a resistor to maintain a certain amount of milliamps so it doesn't blow up the LED. So you can see here that's going to light up pretty bright. And this lights up this whole thing. This kind of works like a ground. So all I need is the 5 volt. And it has this little connector too. Let's see if you can see it. It's pretty small. This kind of comes right out, kind of like this. So that way, if for some reason the resistor doesn't work, you can just easily change it up. And also, this package is pretty nice because it includes a where to go. Well, I couldn't find it, so I found one. So I got this little heat shrink. This should work. So in the end, after we do the install, we have to put just enough to cover the resistor and the wire so you don't short anything. We have the Acrobrat here. What we need to do right now is take it apart. Normally we take the props off, especially if we do some electronics, but in this case it's fairly easy. We won't have to take the props off. So here we're going to just take this apart. I always forget which side I do. Probably do this side first. So now we could take this off. There is one more screw. There, so here we have to just take that off. I think I have, yeah, that was stuck there somehow. That's just the nano for the Crossfire. Let's see what we have. This is the CL Racing F4 mini flight controller, right? So I'm just trying to figure out where the 5 volt pad is, and I believe it's that one right over there. This new antenna has a wire that's on the outside, so I have to feed it back in this way, that way it doesn't get caught into anything. Let's take this antenna off first. We should be okay. Maybe we don't have to take it off. And this new antenna is going to go here. Yeah, it's gotta. This would be good. We could just install this in here. So in our case, it's pretty easy because sometimes if the 5 volts up here, then this tends to hit something. But in this case, we could just attach it here. We're gonna have to cut this resistor because it's too long. You have to make sure when you cut it, you don't cut it too short, so that when you put it back in, it's not going to be all the way up to the resistor, because in this case it's pretty short. fairly short, but it should be okay. And then this should fit perfectly right here. Well, maybe not too perfect, but it fits just right there. So this is the 5-volt pad right here. So we're going to heat that up and make it a little bit flatter. Make sure it's nice and flat. Add a little bit more solder. There you go. So when I install this, I usually use a kind of a different technique because it's kind of hard to put solder, can you see it, on this little piece. This little piece doesn't take solder as well, so what I do is I sandwich it with solder, and that way it gets stuck, and the solder in between just sandwiches the piece together onto the board. That might be too much, let's see. Like a little piece here. Now we're just going to sandwich it with solder right on top. The solder's not too bad. Let's see. Just make sure to apply enough heat on there so you get enough solder on both ends to melt the pad on the bottom too. And once that's on there, you can see it settle. It's good. And we're going to attach this resistor to this wire. We'll say this wire will be about this long. We cut this wire here. And then I'll strip it a little bit. I'll just do a quick tin on there. So I'll just put some solder in the end and sandwich it in, just like the other one. This one I'll put a good amount of solder so that way, you know, more is not going to hurt on this one. More is probably going to be better for this. Put that on there, hold it together. That should be good. You see that right there? It's not bad. Now you could even put your shrink wrap on here to cover it up. So I'm going to cut this a little bit too. You see? So now we just have to put it into that little device. So now the resistor's on, and you could kind of bend this the way you need to. And you don't have to bend it too much, just enough for it to fit. Put the antenna back on the SMA connector. There you go, it's lit up. Now we just have to put it back together. Make sure the wires are tucked in. A lot of wires here, so maybe zip tie that later. Looks like it's good. Here's the wire for the antennas right here. You see that? You can see here it's still in there. Now we have a light. That's how you install it. So I'm here at the park. We're gonna see, it's kind of twilight right now. It's probably get darker pretty quick. So let's see how it looks at night and see how it flies. Got a few people out there, but we'll figure it out. So that wasn't too bad. I just kind of, it's not dark enough, so I'm gonna try it again when it's a little darker. It's pretty good, let's try it again. Yeah, it was a little tough at night. I don't know if you saw the crash. I wasn't able to record. I forgot to do the DVR footage. Now, as far as the antenna works really good. I didn't really test it for range or anything. It is a TrueRC, and TrueRCs are usually pretty good. I think that little connector where the resistor goes to, where you slip it in, I think that will have a tendency to come out for some builds, like the builds that aren't so tight. Because right now mine's kind of tight. I've got the wires in there. After I did the install, I had to reopen it because the connector was actually, the resistor was slipping out of the connector. So I had to go there and kind of push it out because I had a wire that was actually pushing it out. So if you have a tight build, it'll keep it in there, but it's not very tight. And in my case, I was able to leverage it with another piece of wire to keep it in there. And I noticed some other people, they just take the connector and just put the resistor straight, which is still an option I might do in the future, depending on if I have any problems. But so far, it's been doing okay. Well, this is the end of my video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Enjoy the installation. If you want to see more, please like, comment, and subscribe. The button below. And we'll see you next time.